States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the Monday, February 3rd meeting of the Board of Aldermen. Our first order of business is additions and deletions to the agenda. Do we have any additions or deletions? We do have several executive sessions. We'll move those to the end, but we don't need a motion to do that. Seeing no additions or deletions, we'll move on to amendment and approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes for January 21st?
Second.
We have a motion to approve. It's been seconded. Any corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next is public comment. Is there anyone here who wishes to address the board on matters not on tonight's agenda? Step right up, and if you could just state your name for the minutes.
Good evening. I apologize about my voice. I've been at the police academy for day one for the new recruits, so it's kind of hoarse right now. But my name is Detective Corporal Adam Lucia. I've been a member of the Rutland City Police Department for going on 13 years, and I'm currently the Police Benevolent Association president, and I'm currently serving in the Bureau of Criminal Investigations, and in this role I focus on combating the drug-related offenses, also with violent crime, and I do that working diligently with Detective Corporal Eric Morgano to ensure the safety and well-being of our community. That being said, I'm ready to express my deep concern and disappointment regarding the actions of a current board member who has not only misrepresented facts about the Rutland City Police Department, but has also breached confidential negotiation topics in an unsecured forum. Such behavior is not only reckless, but it also undermines the integrity of our local governance and the trust between our community and law enforcement. It is unacceptable for any elected official alone a candidate seeking further political influence to spread falsehoods about the dedicated men and women who serve and protect Rutland. Their willingness to mislead the public, whether out of ignorance or for political gain, is deeply troubling and demands accountability. Furthermore, the blatant disregard for confidentiality in negotiations raises serious questions about their ability and to responsibly handle sensitive matters that affect the well-being of our city. Public officials should be held to the highest standard of truthfulness and professionalism, just like the men and women in law enforcement. The people of Rutland deserve leaders who act with integrity, not individuals who jeopardize important discussions and misinform the public. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members? Chief?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and to all members of the board for this opportunity to address you. This is my first time speaking to you in this portion of a board meeting. I'm doing so to bring to your attention and to the attention of the public a matter I learned of yesterday that has caused considerable concern to the police department. My message on behalf of the entire department is meant to express the collective disappointment of the department after Alderman Heck participated in a recent Facebook Live interview during which he made comments that were not just inaccurate, but inappropriate and irresponsible. At the risk of violating the spirit of executive sessions, I will not address what has been discussed in such sessions with the board, but I will address what has never been discussed while briefing them on ongoing contract negotiations with the police department union representatives. Any assertion that this was a demand during negotiations is untrue. And that assertion is made by Alderman Heck, referring to members of the police department that, and I quote, "These guys, you know, in regards to their new contract, they want to be paid for 60 hours and work 40 hours. Alderman Heck's claim is untrue, irresponsible, inappropriate, and contrary to his oath as a member of the board to present things truly as they come to his knowledge. His claim was irresponsible in that it has the likelihood to erode trust in members of the police department and may adversely impact police encounters we have with the public. Further, Alderman Heck has been present in various executive sessions during which the board was briefed on these matters, and he knows this issue was never proposed. During the Facebook Live interview, Alderman Heck referred to one of our officers as Sergeant Whitehead and expressed his belief that this officer came from out of state, believing he was from West Virginia. He further suggested his belief that Whitehead is, and I quote, "trying to change every dynamic within the PD," unquote, from uniforms to equipment and more. To be clear, Commander Whitehead is a Rutland native and is focused on improving the work conditions of our members and is a dedicated, well-respected leader in the department. The suggestion that the commander is not happy with anything he has, and I quote, and that he has to have, quote, the biggest, most expensive of all the stuff out there, suggests his decisions are misguided. That could not be further from the truth. Alderman Heck does provide the disclaimer that he doesn't know this to be fact, but he had heard these things. While some elected officials at all levels seem to thrive on spreading mistruths, our hope is that our local officials act on and share information that is true. I don't think that is too much to ask. I want to thank all our officers and our support staff who perform this incredibly difficult job every day. They are well-trained, committed to our mission, and dedicated to providing a level of public safety service our community deserves and respects. To all those who have supported us, thank you. For those who have struggled to do so, please take the time to reach out and ask questions that may concern you. The truth matters.
Thank you, Chief. Is there anyone else who wishes to address the board on matters not on our agenda? Tom, step right up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tom Donahue, 21 Laverne Drive, Rutland City. Just wanted to take the opportunity to announce that the Rutland Herald and PEG TV will be having an aldermanic candidate forum on February 19th. And I'd invite everybody, I guess, to tune in or to watch it on your favorite handheld device. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to address the board on items not on tonight's agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on to communications from the mayor.
Wonderful, thank you very much. The first order of business this evening is I'd like to ask the board to make a motion to approve and adopt the capital improvement program as amended.
So moved.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion to adopt the capital improvement program as amended. It's been seconded. Any discussion or debate on them? We need to suspend the rules first. All right.
Okay.
So does the board wish to suspend the rules and take that matter up?
So moved.
Second.
All right. All those in favor of suspending the rules?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
And then make a move to adopt the capital improvement plan as amended.
Second.
All right, any discussion or debate on that motion?
Just
Alderwoman
a question,
Davis.
because we know there's several items relating to this on the ballot. What education is proposed to kind of help the voters understand what they're voting yea or nay on?
Sure, let's be clear, the capital improvement program is not on the ballot. What is the bond to pay for some of the items. We are having a meeting later this week to talk about putting the information up to make sure that all departments are fully informed of the language and what can go against the bond. As you know from being in the committee meetings, the only thing approved to go against the bond in the program so far is the Giorgetti Chiller project. Outside of that, the bond information, how it gets paid for through the 1% option tax, and those other components will all be basically built into a document and sent out to department heads and to the board as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further discussion or debate from the board? So the motion is to adopt the capital improvement plan as amended. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Motion passes.
Wonderful, thank you. I want to give a quick update on the Johnson Controls process. So the board should remember that we suspended the financing for the Johnson Controls process after not receiving the MERC grant. We went back to the table with Johnson Controls to discuss changing the contract to reflect the lack of potential revenue from that grant and taking out a few things that we had received feedback on from both the board and department heads. So that process is going to get going again. I'd like to ask the board to refer to the Finance Committee, resuming the JCI financing process and review of the final amendments of the project.
So moved.
All right, so we have a motion to refer the JCI financing to the Finance Committee. Any discussion on the referral? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Fantastic. Tonight, in one of the executive sessions, we'll be discussing the letter of intent with the Belden Corporation for the hotel in downtown Rutland. We are going to bring Stephanie in from White and Burke remotely during that executive session to discuss the implications to the TIF district based on the decisions made for the LOI and how they affect each other. I've got documentation for that, so we'll talk about that later this evening. I did get to spend some time in Montpelier again last week get to meet with our delegation in the Wednesday morning meeting. One of the really interesting things for Rutland is that the Rutland County delegation all meets every single Wednesday, regardless. It's not a party thing. It's not a Democrat or Republican thing. They get together, they hear about what's going on in Rutland, they discuss issues in Rutland, and it's one of the amazing features that we have with our delegation, and that is currently being led by Senator Brian Collmore, who's taken over the chair, and it was a great experience. And if you ever want to know about that, just ask one of your local representatives, and they'll explain it to you. It's a very good session on those Wednesday mornings. I was able to get an update on the Paramount from Eric, the executive director, this week, and it was a great tour. For those of you who remember, the Board of Aldermen assigned some dollars to the major renovation projects that are going there, with the hope that those dollars would come back to us in spades over time. And I can tell you, based on the renovations I've seen so far, it's going to be successful as long as people continue to attend the Paramount shows, which we know, based on the last 2 shows that have been there, they attend the Paramount shows with packed houses. They spend time in our downtown, eating in our restaurants, shopping in our stores, and it's phenomenal. But what's gotten done so far is the work towards the elevator, the first floor lobby, a couple of other things. I know that they are waiting on a notice to proceed on one of their grants, and they can start working on the upper floors. But I'm very excited to give you the feedback that it's going along quite well. And if you would like to take a tour for yourself, Eric has offered to the board to give them a call, and he'd be happy to take you through. He's very excited about the progress thus far. This week, at Stafford Technical Center, Cedar will be holding their mixer. This is going to be on February 11th. The reason I'm talking about this in advance is at that mixer, we'll be making a mayoral proclamation for the 50th anniversary of Stafford Technical Center. Can you believe it's been that long? Just to give you some indication, I graduated from Stafford in 1998. So it's even been some time since I was there. Had a great Mondays with Mike today at Loose Luna. Great conversations with people from our community. Undecided voters came out to ask questions, have conversations about the things that are happening within our city, hard questions about everything from public safety and the unhoused to drug use, all the way up to what's happening with housing and economic development. So really good conversations. Our next Mondays with Mike will be Monday morning at 8 a.m. at the Last Cup Cafe. And then last thing, tomorrow I will be on WVMT in the morning at 8 a.m. if anybody would like to listen about what's going on in my update there. That is it for me today. Thank you very much. Any questions? Awesome.
Move on to consideration of special event permit requests. We have an application for the Wonderfeet Truck or Treat to be held on October 19th. You'll find the application on pages 1 to 2 of your packet.
I'll move to suspend the rules.
Second.
All right. Any discussion on suspending the rules? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
And I'll move the approval of Wonderfeet Trunk or Treat for the event to be October 19th at 7 a.m. through October 19th at 5:30 p.m.
Second.
All right. So we have a motion to approve. It's been seconded. Any discussion or debate on the approval? Alderwoman McClure.
Is there anybody present tonight to speak on the event permit? We see a hand over there.
Yes. Would you like to step up to the podium and say a little bit about the event? Sorry to make you do the long walk. Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Nicole Mastroni. I am on the board for the last 3 years at Wonderfeet Kids Museum. I am also have been a member for a soon-to-be 5-year-old at Wonderfeet, so the place holds a special place in my heart. I do run the events at Wonderfeet, so we are looking to bring this back for our 3rd year this year. We've had a lot of success the last 2 years. Last year we had 80 participating sponsors, including some people in our room, our local police department, our local fire department, all came and joined us from Rutland City, Rutland Town, even came down from Killington with over 100 vehicles on Merchants Row from West Street all the way down to Strong's Avenue, and then from Wales down to the intersection. So we're going to be hoping to use that little T right there again and fill the streets up again with our truck or treat. So we consider it to be touch a truck meets trick or treating for all of our families here, and we continue to make this a free event. We really want our community to be involved and have a nice, safe space for our community. So we're very lucky to be in this community and be supported. So we thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
We voted. I believe.
yeah. Next, we have a special event permit for the RAVE annual car show to be held on July. Did we vote?
I don't think we did.
There's a
I
lot
don't think
going
we
on.
did.
We need to vote.
We suspended the rules.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so the motion is to approve the Wonderfeet Truck or Treat for October 19th. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Now, we have a special event permit for the RAVE annual car show on July 12th and 13th. This is on pages 3 and 4.
Move to suspend the rules.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion to approve the RAVE annual car show. Any discussion? Alderwoman McClure.
Is there anybody present to speak on this event permit tonight?
I do not see anyone. Alderman McCann.
Am I remembering correctly, this is one of the events that doesn't necessarily explicitly need a permit, but they bring it each year out of a sort of a good neighbor relationship? Thank you. I appreciate that they keep us informed on that.
Correct.
If I may,
Alderman
it's at the
Gillen.
fairgrounds, so it's a secured site, so.
Seeing nothing further. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Reports and letters from department heads and officials. First up is Barbara Spaulding from the RRA with a request for residential property tax stabilization.
Good evening. I am bringing to you tonight the recommendation from the RRA Board for approval of residential property tax stabilization for Claire Purcell for condos 7 through 12 on Wales Street in Rutland, 24 Wales Street. And you were sent a copy of the application and pro forma. And Claire is here this evening if you have any questions.
I'd like to move to refer this to Community Development Committee.
Okay. Is there a second? All right. Any discussion on the referral of this item to the Community and Economic Development Committee? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. So Alderwoman Taddeo will reach out to you. She isn't able to be here tonight, but she's the chair of that committee, and set up a committee meeting for some evening soon. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Barbara is up again with a recommendation from the Rutland Redevelopment Authority to approve a BIAP loan. This is on pages 17 to 33 of your packet.
Yes, so Jessica Alexandric is applying for a $10,000 BIAP forgivable loan to expand her home business into 146 West Street to create Clover Exploration, which is children's programming. The application meets the criteria in the BIAP policy through more than $10,000 of personal investments, and the funds will be used for improvements to the physical space to make it more child-friendly, as well as installing a mini kitchenette. In addition, there will be investment in children's safe play and learn equipment, and Jessica is here this evening to provide additional information or answer any questions.
Welcome. Alderman McCann?
Motion to suspend rules and take the matter up tonight.
Second.
All right. Any discussion on that motion? All those in favor of suspending the rules?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
And then I'd make a motion that we approve the $10,000 BIAP forgivable loan to Clover Exploration.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion to approve. It's been seconded. Alderman Gillum?
Just for the folks at home, where is 146 West Street?
It is right across from the post office. Do you know the green storefront right across from the post office?
That's good, thank you.
Alderwoman McClure?
Would you just take a moment to kind of tell the folks at home, not to steal your line, about your project and what you plan to do with the space?
Absolutely. Okay. So Clover Exploration is something I've been doing from home for a while and from the library and other, like the rec center camps. I've been teaching classes all about sustainability and sensory exploration and for homeschoolers in the community. And I'm hoping to really hone in on creating a space that is not only for play, but kids can go and join an ever-changing world of imagination, creativity, discovery, exploring new materials, and really hone in on the fact that it's super sustainable and reusing things, partnerships with different schools and hopefully the Humane Society. I am working with the University of Castleton, they changed their name, Vermont State University, with them for their early childhood education program to help develop their skills and see if we can grow together. Any specific questions?
Any questions from members of the board? Alderwoman Savage.
How many children do you think you'll serve at one time?
So I have a max capacity of about 48. So I'm assuming between 15 to 20 kids at a time. My classes will be a 1 to 10 ratio, so 10 kids, 1 me. And hopefully an aide soon.
Alderman McCann.
Yeah, as a new parent myself, I'm becoming more attuned to the availability and the need for things like this. And I know I've been seeing Wonderfeet recently posting that people need to make reservations, they're at capacity, right? So there's a demonstrated need for these sorts of things for the kids in our community. I'm really excited to see this application coming forward.
Exactly, especially in the winter. Thank you so much.
Anything additional from the board? So we have a motion to approve. It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you so much, guys.
Good luck.
Next up is Planning Director Bove with a request for an amendment to the White and Burke contract for TIF district creation. You'll find this on pages 34 to 39. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me. As stated, this would be to amend the White and Burke contract for TIF district creation for an additional $10,000. We have that funding in the money that has been allocated for TIF. It's really just a matter of increasing the contract, which should take us through creation of the district in April, May.
Move to suspend the rules and take the matter up tonight.
Second.
All right, any discussion on suspending the rules? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Move to extend the amount to $10,000 additional.
Additional.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion to approve the amendment to the White and Burke contract for TIF district creation in the amount of $10,000 contingent on city attorney review. Is that?
Yes, that's great. That's super.
That was what was in the memo.
That's what's on the bottom line.
I know. I just saw that on the bottom line.
Any discussion or debate? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
And that'll get added to the contract that was approved in July, which again will take us to the creation of the district. I have another matter that I would like to ask the board for tonight, and that is as part of the TIF district creation, we've been working on a letter of intent and a development agreement, which I'm sure you all know about. The council that we're using for that is actually there's a letter of engagement that's on your on the tables in front of you, and I'm requesting that the board allow the mayor to sign that to keep this process moving. This is in relation to the development agreement, so you're probably asking, Ed, why are we talking about a project when we're talking about TIF district creation? And the reason is we have to get the LOI and the development agreement far enough along during the creation process so that REPC knows we're serious about a first project. Allowing the mayor to sign this will, as you can see, let this attorney work on an hourly basis for us. It shouldn't take us over the procurement limits, but it will facilitate his review when we continue to review the development agreement.
Attorney LaChance, because this wasn't warned on the agenda, are we able to act on this tonight?
Suspend the
I
rules.
was just going to say, we'd have to suspend the rules on this.
But shouldn't we have added it during additions and deletions to the agenda?
Yeah, that was going to be my comment on that, is it should have been added at the beginning.
So would someone like to make a motion to add this to the agenda?
Second.
Right, any debate on adding it to the agenda? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Now what is the board's pleasure?
Move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Deal with
Right.
matter tonight.
The motion to suspend the rules has been seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Move to allow the mayor to sign, authorize the mayor to sign the contract with MSK attorneys to deal with the TIF district
Second.
on an hourly basis.
All right, so we have a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the contract with MSK attorneys. It's been seconded. Discussion or debate? Alderwoman Davis.
Just a question, and who in Montpelier advocates to the committee for us on our behalf to establish this district?
Well, I'm hoping our delegation does. And then I believe John Russell is still the chair of the VEPSI board.
Does Stephanie do that as well?
She advocates for TIF districts more in general. When the VEPSI board meeting occurs in Rutland on the 27th of this month, that's where she will be presenting the district.
Okay.
So during that presentation is where she can do some advocacy work. Okay. But I don't think she gets into the nitty-gritty with the legislators of advocating for our district. Hopefully our application is solid enough on its own that.
Well, the only reason I bring it up is I've heard some concerns that possibly the chair of the committee is not a big fan of TIF districts. So I just want to make sure that there's someone advocating for us up there, if that's factual.
Well, I think that is factual, but it's really interesting because in the governor's proposal, part of his program for more housing is creating almost like mini TIF districts in smaller areas. So I don't know what that dynamic is, but I know with some of the property tax concerns out there, TIF is always something that gets kicked around.
So I did want to quickly mention, specifically to your question, former legislator Peter Fagan has offered to help us usher this through Montpelier in the best way possible. And we do have the vice chair of that committee, Bill Canfield, is going to work with us as well. So we're going to have that conversation, and since it's in Bill's committee first, it'll hopefully have the attention of this. Thank you.
Alderman Gillum.
And I would suggest that the members of the TIF committee have a meeting with the delegation, a Wednesday morning meeting. That'd be a nice visit with them.
That's actually a great idea.
So they understand where we are in the process, so they're all speaking the same language.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll arrange that for sure.
Thank you.
And I wouldn't mind to go with you on that.
You got it. You can drive.
I can drive. I can still do that.
Maybe not.
All right, so the motion is to allow the mayor to sign the contract with MSK attorneys. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Assistant Engineer Gillen with a request to use ARPA funds to support water meter installation. This is on page 40 of your packet.
Thank you. We have a lot of unaccounted for water that comes from the plant, gets treated, goes to the distribution system, gets metered, billed. There's a big difference between the number that Tommy records at the plant and what Gail records in the bills. And we look at this, two different variables here. Several buildings throughout the city are unmetered, and we expect that there's a number of water leaks throughout the system that just don't come to the surface. We just call them a lot of small leaks. So the first step that we've taken to try to squeeze this number together is we bought some leak detection equipment a few months ago, some correlators. So we send the guys out, they put these on water valves, and they let it record, listen for noise for a little while, and it says, okay, there's a leak here, or there isn't. When we find one, we dig a hole in the ground and we repair it. But again, the other factor being that we've got a lot of buildings that are unmetered, municipal buildings, schools, things like that. We've taken a good bite out of it this season. There's about 44, I think, that are unmetered. Past couple months, we've installed meters in about 20 of those 44. The next batch that we're looking to do are in public and private schools. We were looking to get these meters in during a February break, maybe a February and April break. So the topic came up in Board of Finance because we got a quote just shy of $24,000 the Board of Finance made recommendation to come talk to you guys about the option of using some unutilized ARPA funds as opposed to a capital fund. And that's why I'm here.
Alderman McCann?
Motion to suspend the rules and take the matter up tonight.
Second.
Any discussion on suspending the rules? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
And I'd make a motion to authorize the Commissioner of Public Works to utilize up to $24,000 in the ARPA funds to purchase water meters, if available, according to the city treasurer.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion. It's been seconded. If you would step to the podium to speak.
I would recommend referral to finance when we go over the assignments in the balance sheet of what is actually available and left in that ARPA award. What was the ARPA award?
So instead of voting on it tonight, sending it to...
Please, yeah. There are a couple of other requests, I think, that are out there, but I'd like to go over that with you. There are some projects that are complete with money left over. Do we want to roll that in? There are a lot of questions that I have on that, and I'd like to bring that to Finance Committee.
Alderwoman Davis?
So if I may, we're still approving the engineer's request. Yes, or you want it sent before we approve the request?
I would like it sent before.
Just so
Yep, just to make sure we have it and everybody's in agreement with what's there.
Okay.
Please.
Alderman McCann.
Question for Engineer Gillen. Is there an urgency to this request that would create some friction if we waited?
These buildings have never been metered, so no. You know, I came tonight because we were looking to do them from February break, but we might as well talk about it more and shoot for April break.
Treasurer Markowski?
I just want to, when we were at that committee meeting, we had two options. We could use the capital from the Water Capital Fund, right, to do this, or we also looked at an alternate source. So the feeling at Board of Finance was we really want to do this and we want to meet that February. So our recommendation was, yes, go ahead with this project, and then we'll seek which the best financing was after. So we have two options for this project. So, I mean, we'd like to do it in February, but.
So we wouldn't, what you're proposing is a new motion that authorizes the assistant engineer to move forward with this project, financing to be determined, or funding source?
Absolutely. We need this project, whether it comes from the water system capital or from the ARPA, but I'd really like to go over that ARPA with you first. But if you don't want to do that, that's fine too.
I see a lot of hands. I'm going to start with Alderwoman Davis.
Well, I just question, we have to purchase the meters, I'm assuming, so you have to have a funding source, correct?
Yeah, I don't know if it's possible.
So can we take it from the capital plan so he can fund it and then reimburse it with ARPA, if that's what we so choose?
That was the thought at committee. I mean, to take it from the capital fund, not the capital plan.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I misspoke.
Yeah.
Right, capital fund, so Ted can purchase the meters and get it done in February, and then we can determine in finance whether to reimburse through the ARPA funds.
Correct.
Alderman Gillen?
Point of order, there's going to be two motions then, am I correct?
Yeah.
So we need to vote this motion in and then send the financing to the finance committee. Am I
Well, we'd
correct?
like to amend this motion or
We wanna
withdraw
amend
it, because this has ARPA in it.
And then we do a second motion.
Alderman
So
McCann.
I would amend the motion to authorize the Commissioner of Public Works to utilize up to $24,000 of the Capital Improvement Fund to purchase
The
water.
Water Capital Fund.
Water
Water
Capital
Capital
Fund, thank you.
Right.
For water meters.
Does the seconder
That's second.
agree?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so the new motion is to authorize the commissioner to utilize up to $24,000 from the Water Capital Fund to purchase new meters. Any discussion or debate on that motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Alderman Gillen?
Motion to move into financing how we're going to pay for this and what fund we're going to take it from.
All right, so motion to refer this issue to the Finance Committee.
Second.
Any discussion on the referral? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Treasurer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Assistant Engineer Gillen's up again with a request to approve ESA for Moonbrook Phosphorus Reduction Project.
Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, I was here requesting that the Public Works Commissioner initiate contract negotiations with Watershed Consulting. I received the engineering services agreement. I've reviewed it. I've sent it to the attorney's office. So the motion being that I'm looking for authorized Commissioner of Public Works to sign the engineering services agreement with Watershed Consulting to complete the Moonbrook Flow Restoration Plan following a review and approval by the city attorney.
Move to suspend the rules.
Second.
All right, any discussion on suspending the rules? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
I'd move to authorize the Commissioner of Public Works to sign the engineering services agreement with Watershed Consulting to complete the Moonbrook Flow Restoration Plan following review and approval by the city attorney.
Second.
Any discussion or debate on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Engineer Gillen is up one more time with a request to approve engineering services agreement for final design of phosphorus reduction projects.
Yep, similar story. A couple weeks ago, I've got the contract in hand. I have not yet given it to Megan, but I will following your approval.
Move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Any discussion on suspending the rules? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
I move to authorize the Commissioner of Public Works to sign the engineering services agreement with Fitzgerald Environmental Associates to complete the final design for phosphorus reduction projects following review and approval by the city attorney.
Second.
All right, any discussion on the motion? Alderman Gillum.
Just so the public at home, that the $84,000 is coming out of the community formula grant that has been awarded to the city already. That's an MS4.
Very good. Alderwoman Davis?
Just how much was that grant? Was it total 84,000 or was it greater?
The grant was $488,000.
We got enough.
It's going to cover the cost to do some design work and actually implement
Okay.
the projects that they'll design.
Great, thank you.
All right, any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Reports of standing committees. We have none. Reports of select committees, we have none. Reports of representatives, we have none. Petitions, letters, miscellaneous communications. Alderman McCann?
Thank you. A couple weeks ago, a member of the public requested that the board and city endorse the Fossil Fuel Non-Proliferation Treaty, which calls for an end to fossil fuel expansion and a just transition to renewable energy. I don't know much about the specifics of this request, but I'd like the opportunity to learn more and for the board to consider whether the request is in alignment with the city's policies and priorities. So I'd move that the matter be referred to the Environmental Sustainability Committee.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion to refer discussion of endorsing the Fossil Fuel Non-Proliferation Treaty to the Environmental Sustainability Committee. Any discussion on the referral? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
All right, can the ayes show their hands? All right, motion fails.
Almost got me.
Any other petitions, letters, or miscellaneous communications? Alderman Gillum.
I just want to make a comment. The last 2 weeks, the Public Works Department, especially the Water Department, have had some major breaks on Library Avenue and Cleveland Avenue. I was very impressed. The amount of work was done there, how the staff handled that project, both projects, and got it done and communicated with everybody on the streets on what was happening. Well done, and I think we need to praise the department for doing a good job. I think we need to say things when they do a good job. So thank you very much.
Which is every day.
All right, Board of Control Commissioners, nothing on the agenda. Board of Cannabis Commissioners, nothing on the agenda. Any unfinished business? Alderman McCann again.
Thank you. So as Planning Director Bo mentioned briefly at the beginning of the last meeting, I think the zoning bylaws are very close to being drafted and ready for review during one of several public hearings. And I think we'd like to join up one of those hearings with the Committee of the Whole. So I want to move that consideration of the zoning bylaws update be referred to Committee of the Whole so that we can schedule that when it comes time.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion to refer discussion of the zoning bylaws update to Committee of the Whole. Any discussion on that referral? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. You good?
Good, thanks.
Miscellaneous motions, resolutions, new business?
Oh, I was going to put it under that one.
Got ahead of yourself there. If not, I'll refer to Attorney LaChance to read out the first set of motions for the first of 4 executive sessions. And also to read out a reminder about executive session decorum, and I'd ask that everyone follow the same rules of order in the executive session that we follow out here. If you wish to speak, ask to be recognized, I'll call on you, then speak.
One. There we go. All right, so the first matter we're going to take up is for the executive session for the hotel letter of intent. Is that correct?
Can we move that to the 3rd so you can do your 2 updates first and give Stephanie enough time to be available?
Sure. Is there any objection to?
Nope.
Okay. All right, then I would like a motion to find that premature general public knowledge regarding the negotiation of a labor relations agreement specifically for the fire department would clearly place the city at a substantial disadvantage because the discussion will divulge the board's position on the agreement provisions to be negotiated.
So moved.
Second.
I'd ask that we wait until all aldermen can be present because it's important for all aldermen to hear the description of why we're going into an executive session.
That's fair.
So when Alderman Heck chooses to rejoin us, we can move forward.
And Adams, I think we're into the restroom too, so
Great.
we'll reread that motion.
Very good.
Thank you both. Just to reiterate, I'm looking for the motion to find that premature general public knowledge regarding the negotiation of a labor relations agreement specifically for the fire department would clearly place the city at a substantial disadvantage because the discussion will divulge the board's position on the agreement provisions to be negotiated.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
All right. And just as a quick reminder before the second motion, because of the concerns around executive session breaches in the past, I would just remind everyone that particularly when we discuss labor relations agreements, those are subject to ground rules that are potentially opening up the whole city to liability if they're discussed outside of
The reason
section.
you're reading that is for Alderman Heck. I'm going to point that out. So
Yep.
he can choose to come back in and hear it, or we cannot go into executive session.
I'm
Can I go
happy
get
to wait.
a drink and I'll share that with him?
Sure, that'd be great. Thank you, Alderman
Thank you.
Davis.
And thank you all the rest of you for listening.
We try.
Thank you, everyone. And so before I read this next executive session, just the general reminder that due to the ground rules that are set out at the start of union negotiations, any discussion of union contract negotiations specifically while discussing what's discussed in executive session ordinarily is not a statutory violation that holds no penalty. There is liability for both the city and the union and legal consequences if those ground rules are violated. So just wanted to remind everyone about that, to be mindful. And at this point, I would look for a motion to enter into executive session with the inclusion of the mayor, fire department chief, if he's still around, the treasurer, director of human resources, and the city attorney to discuss the labor relations agreement as allowed under Title I, Section 313A1B.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're in executive session.